Well, hello there. Welcome once more to KwenKwen's Kitchen. And if this is your first time stopping by, I want to say a very warm akwaaba to you. Today I'm sharing with you my recipe for Shinkafa, which simply means rice, and it's a meal from the northern part of Ghana. It is nutritious, and I always say it's a cross between jollof and waakye. So for this recipe, you will need your brown rice, which is called the Kwankwan. Normally that's what we call it when you want to buy it. I have here some aniseed, some coriander seeds, and some hwentea or grains of selim. These are tomatoes that I blended and cooked all the way down. It's about 15 plum tomatoes blended and cooked. I have my shrimp powder, some herrings that I got from my sweet mom in the African market for free. Margaret's Medasi. This is Momone or Momone, and it's like the next star ingredient in the recipe. I have ginger, garlic, peppers, tomato paste, shallots, coconut oil. This is virgin coconut oil, and that is going to bring extra flavor in it. Typically what they use is shea butter, but coconut oil works just as well. And our rice, the real star of the show, the star ingredient, it's a lot of work. It normally comes dirty, like very dirty. Like you have to wash it and wash it and wash it, and even before you wash it, you would have to pick out all the chaff and all the foreign materials in it. Nano na yɛbɛka wɔ fie sɛ ntɛtɛ nyiyimu, nneɛma bebree wɔ mu that is not really, part of the actual rice, and you have to bring them all out for you to enjoy your meal. So I previously cooked my meat in my pressure cooker, and this is a combination of offals, goat, oxtail, and the like. And now we are going to start off our stew. And first I'm going to prep my vegetables that need to be prepped. So this is my shallots, and I'm going to cut them up. And now I'm going to put about a cup. I started off with about half a cup, but I ended up adding some to it. So in total, we will need about a cup of coconut oil, virgin coconut oil. And now I've added, like I said, the second star of the show, which is Momone. And this one is called Momone. And this is really what is going to bring that flavor and smell, the aroma that typical Kwankwan has. Like I was telling you, it's a cross between, to me, it is a cross between jollof and waakye. But it is of a totally different flavor. You can't even compare to it's distinct on its own. It's not, just the look. And what brings out this aroma mostly is Momone. And so I let it cook a while, and I've added my shallots. So I'm going to let it cook until it's brown or caramelized. And then I'll add my blended onions and the rest. So here's my blended onion, pepper, aniseed, coriander seed. And of course, this all to bring more flavor, like a depth of flavor, You just want to intensify the flavors in this meal. And so I've added my 4 hwentea, also known as grains of selim, to this, or negro peppers, you can call that too. And now I'm just going to let this cook a while. And then I'll add my tomato paste, which of course I just added. And you will find the measurement of all my ingredients in the description box, so don't worry. So I'm going to let this tomato paste cook for about 5 minutes. And you have to bear in mind that I'm using a cast iron pot. And so once it heats up, everything is going pretty fast. It might take you longer, but after 5 to 6 minutes is all I needed to get my tomato paste to where I wanted it to be. And now I'm adding my tomatoes. This is fresh tomatoes, about 15 plum tomatoes, like I told you earlier on, and I blended and cooked all the way down. And this, I do that most of the time. Typically I would even freeze it, cook a batch and freeze, and that speeds up your cooking process. So I did this whilst I was prepping my other ingredients, and it helps to make you cook fast. So this is actually where I added the extra oil. So I had started off with about a half a cup, and as the stew was cooking and thickening, it was, without any oil, it takes forever to cook. So I added about an extra half cup, which I didn't show in the video, but it's still not too much oil, as you can see. But our stew is going to be perfect, and I'm going to cook this stew all the way down until it is brown and darkened like the waakye stew. So if you haven't seen my waakye stew recipe, I'm going to link it here for you. And in here I added my powdered shrimp, which is 2 tablespoons, 1 Maggi tablet, to bring in even more flavor, into the stew. And I'm going to let this cook. And at this point, it is thickened, and you can't just leave it and go, do your other stuff, because you're going to burn your stew. So I will have to be constantly stirring. And now I'm going to add water. And this was half a cup that I first added. Give it a stir, and it's not enough. So I am going to add an extra half cup. And this is just to, let the stew cook some more, because it had dried out, and at that point it was like more like frying, but I still wanted to cook even more before it gets to the stage of frying. So I just add some water, like I said. So this is a total of 1 cup of water that I added to this sauce, and I'm going to let it cook for an additional about 10 minutes. So the cook time for this stew basically was about a whole hour. But like I also said, you have to bear in mind that I used a cast iron pot, which heats up fast. So once it heated, it was pretty fast. So after the 10 minutes, it cooked down. And now I added an extra cup of water to just thin it out, because now I'm ready to scoop out the stew that I will serve the Kwankwan, KwenKwen, Shinkafa with. And then I will cook the rice in the rest. So here I am taking about half of the total stew, and then that will be for the meats, and then I'll cook the rice with the rest. So the remaining is what I've added my herrings. These are already broken, so I didn't really need to do anything. So if you're using herrings, you just take out the bone and you break it up, and it brings in more flavor. So whilst the stew is ready and waiting, here is my rice, which I removed all the nkitinkiti. You have to spread it out and see all the tiny gravels or whatever, sand, stones, chaff, weevils, whatever will be in. You take everything out. Sometimes you have all that. And then I'm washing it. So I washed it about 4 times, because that's how dirty this rice is. It's dusty, and you see this is more nkitinkiti. So I'm removing that now, and I'll continue to wash it. This meal is almost like exclusive to people in Kumasi. I grew up in Obuasi and it was there, but it's more popular in Kumasi. And of course, I bet it is very popular in the north, because that's where it originates from. But here's the recipe, and all the ingredients are easy to find anywhere in Ghana and even outside the country. So I hope you try this. So we're done washing the rice, but we are not just going to directly just strain it and pour it into our stew, because guess what? There's going to be more sand and gravels on the bottom of the bowl. So we are more like dredging it at this point. So you see, I make some swirls, and after I swirl it, I scoop up the rice. And this way, I'm trying to let the stone, the gravel, the sand remain in the bottom of the pan. And look at this. Just see if I could compare before I washed it to how it is now. It's like, oh my God, this was filthy. Well, it's perfectly washed now, and I'm happy to tell you I didn't even, nobody bit into any stone or nkitinkiti, because to me, that's like the deal breaker. So it's a lot of work. And if you do it well, you'll enjoy your meal. And now I have my rice in the stew, and I'm just going to mix it up and add some hot water. And now Kwankwan is officially like really started. So that is some hot water, and that's actually 4 cups of rice that I'm cooking in the stew. And I added another 4 cups of water. just 4 cups of water because the stew had some moisture and you're cooking it just like jollof. I've added some salt at this point. I didn't add salt to the stew in the beginning because I knew whatever I would scoop on the side, I was going to add the meat stock. Well, guys, so whilst my jollof is cooking, I am getting ready with all the stuff that the typical joint, waakye or Kwankwan joint will have. And that includes egg that is twice cooked. It's boiled and then fried. You kind of say kusia ya no anayasachi, kusia ya no achi. So that is done. And now I'm going to fry some whiting, which we call alatakako. So I seasoned with just salt and pepper and a little bit of fish seasoning, Old Bay fish seasoning, and I've coated with just a little bit of flour because I love that effect on the fish. And now I just deep fried it, and boy, it smells amazing. I love alatakako, and I was so happy that I found it in the store. So this is like a real deal. If you know how, waakye joint or Kwankwan joint is, then you know that this girl really means business. So our fish is done, and I'm going to scoop them on the side, and then we will fry just our goat meat, and the other meat I'm just going to let it be. So refer to my waakye stew recipe, and it's basically the same thing, only we are making it with coconut oil and it has Momone in the stew. So fish is done. Just beautiful. Look at this. So talk about comprehensive recipe. I'm giving it all to you in this video, and I really want you to try it because I make these videos, I keep telling you, not because I want them just for the views. I'm so happy when people try them and come to me with all their success stories and their joys of cooking and people enjoying their food. That is what makes me happy. So our meat is cooked and our Kwankwan is doing just right. It's cooking just the way it should. It's about 20 minutes into the cooking time. And look, it's softening up. So I'm just turning it, stirring it just a little bit, to make sure that the temperature is evenly spread in it. And this is cooking on low heat because this is real that is saying, I'm telling you, so it's really cooking it perfectly, and so you don't need high heat. I know a lot of you have bought this guru pot, so when you use it, low heat once you put your rice in it. Actually, low heat all the way through. So I had let it cook for an extra 15 minutes, and after that, look at this. Beautiful. Kwankwan papabio. Smells amazing. The texture is on point. The flavor is right. And I know my Eva, that's my aunt whom I learned to make this from. She doesn't even know. Like, I silently learned a lot from her. I know she'll be proud of me. And so Kwankwan situation is all set and very lit. Even the actual joint probably won't have all that we have here. And here is our spread with some macaroni as well, and lemongrass iced tea, which I'm going to share the recipe with you. On such a hot day, when you sit and enjoy this and you need something to quench your thirst, you would want to try that. And our sobo So anyway, time to dish out, sit and enjoy. And so I'm going to let you know why this meal is called Kwankwan. So typically the sellers, what they will scoop, hit the pan like that, just like here I'm doing right here. Scoop, hit like wang, wang. So that's why we call it Kwankwan. And I hear it's actually Shinkafa. We call it Kyinkaafa. No, it's Shinkafa. And it simply means rice. So here is some stew. I have put just a little bit of stew on it. Some beans, gari, some salad, and macaroni. Hajia Kwankyewaa. A little bit of everything. By the time you're done, your plate, your whatever, your leaf, it's fully loaded. Look at that. And now we put on some fried meat. And okay, here you are. Kusia. Now it's time to sit and enjoy. Is this perfection or not? I really hope I'm making you want to try this. and we had it with some chilled lemongrass tea, which I'm going to share the recipe with you as well. It's so good. This rice, I mean, I have to say it's the best that I ever made. I've made Kwankwan so many times, but I really made this video with love, and I took my time, and so I know once you try it, you're gonna nail it. Just look at this. Oh, this is my husband's friend, and he enjoyed it, and he said it was his first time, but he loved it. And look at that egg. Jayo, Kwankwan bearded. I really hope you give this a try. And until I come your way next time with something delicious, be loving, be kind, be happy.